So you have a problem solution essay or a proposing a solution essay to write. Here's the gist of what you're supposed to be doing. Basically, you have to prove two things. First, you need to prove that a problem actually exists and it's important to solve it. After that, you need to prove that you have identified the best solution to the problem. When you state that a problem exists, it's important that you recognize you are making a claim. Even if it seems really, really obvious to you that this problem exists, you have to prove it's important and needs to be fixed. And remember, anytime you make a claim, you have to back it up with evidence. For example, you might say that your teacher gives too much homework and you believe that's a problem. But your teacher or even other students might not see the homework as a problem. Maybe they think the homework is helping them learn. Maybe they think there's a manageable amount of homework. Don't just assume everyone will agree with you or see it from your perspective. You have to show them why it's a problem. So as you're thinking about the problem, be sure that you define and explain what the problem is and how it came to be. From there, prove that the problem is a big deal. Provide examples, statistics, quotes from people who know about or suffer from the problem, or other types of evidence to help show the reader what a big problem there is. If you can prove to your readers that there is a big problem, you will get them motivated to fix it. So, in the case of the homework, maybe you need to prove that students are feeling overwhelmed or stressed, that they aren't learning the material, or that they're giving up on class because of the hours of homework. After you've taken the time and provided the evidence to prove that the problem exists, move on to the solution you have chosen. Keep in mind that there is almost always more than one solution to a problem. For example, if you're arguing that there is too much homework, one solution might be to cut the homework in half. Another argument will be to get rid of all the homework. Another solution might be to make homework optional. Other people might say the teacher should keep the same amount of homework but give students time in class to work on it. The point is, there are lots of different ways to solve a problem, and none of them is the right solution. Every solution has some upsides and some downsides. Your job, however, is to think creatively about all kinds of solutions and then pick the solution that you think is the best and most effective way to solve the problem that you have identified. I also recommend that you indicate to your reader that you've thought through these other solutions so the reader isn't sitting there thinking, but hey, what about... Go ahead and tell the reader, hey, listen, I considered these other solutions, but I didn't choose them, and here's why. However, once you've picked a solution, stick to it. Explain in detail what it is and how it will work, and then provide plenty of evidence to support why it will solve the problem. Just like you had to argue that your problem was actually a problem, you have to argue why your solution will help fix the problem. So let's say you decide the best solution to the homework issue is that your teacher should allow students 30 minutes each day to work on homework in class. Great, you've defined a clear solution. Now your job is to explain how that solution will solve the issues you raised earlier, how that solution will relieve students' stress, how it will help them better learn the material, and how this extra in-class time will motivate them to continue in the class. Maybe you'll also argue that this additional in-class time will allow the teacher to better connect with her students, especially if she helps them by walking around the room and helping them with their homework. And of course, you'll need to use plenty of evidence to support any of these claims. One last thing, be sure you're thinking about your audience when you provide the problem and solution. Make your arguments relevant to them and assume they need to be convinced. So you probably don't want to say that the reason you want less homework is because you want more time to play basketball, unless, of course, that would be a compelling argument to your audience, like if your teacher is also your basketball coach. So remember two things in writing a problem solution essay. First, you have to prove the problem is actually a real important problem that needs fixing. Then you have to identify and argue for the solution that you think will best fix the problem.